The person destroying your life may not be your enemy. It may be the version of you that keeps sacrificing your peace for people who never value your heart. You keep giving, forgiving, explaining, and breaking silently, hoping one day they will finally understand your worth. But my dear brother, my dear sister, listen carefully. Allah did not create you to become empty just to keep everyone else full. It is time to know your worth. 1. It is time to know your worth. My dear sister, there comes a moment when you must stop asking people to value what Allah has already honored. You were not created to spend your life proving your heart to people who only notice you when they need something from you. Your kindness is beautiful. Your softness is a mercy. Your patience is a gift. But none of these were meant to become chains around your soul. When you keep accepting disrespect because you are afraid of losing someone, you slowly begin to lose yourself. And losing yourself is far more dangerous than losing people. Know your worth before pain teaches it to you harshly. Know your worth before someone makes you believe that basic respect is too much to ask for. Know your worth before you start thinking love means begging, suffering, waiting, and forgiving the same wound again and again. Allah did not make you worthless. Allah did not create your heart to be stepped on. So stop shrinking yourself to fit into places where your soul cannot breathe. A woman who knows her worth does not become arrogant. She becomes awake. She gives love, but not at the cost of her dignity. She forgives, but she does not keep handing people the knife. 2. Not everyone deserves your sacrifice. My dear sister, sacrifice is beautiful when it brings you closer to Allah, but it becomes painful when it only brings you closer to people who keep taking from you. Some people do not appreciate your sacrifice because they have become used to it. They know you will forgive. They know you will adjust. They know you will stay quiet. They know you will carry the pain alone, so they stop seeing your effort as love and start treating it like something they are owed. But listen carefully. Your life is not meant to be spent proving loyalty to people who never protect your heart. You can be kind without becoming empty. You can help without losing yourself. You can love without allowing someone to drain your peace every single day. Islam teaches mercy, but mercy does not mean letting people destroy the soul Allah gave you. Not everyone deserves your time. Not everyone deserves your tears. Not everyone deserves your endless chances. Some people only respect your sacrifice when you stop giving it, and by then, your heart may already be tired. So before you give everything again, ask yourself, is this sacrifice pleasing Allah, or is it only feeding someone's control over me? Because a wise woman does not stop being generous. She simply learns where her generosity is being wasted. 3. Your heart is an amana, not a place for people's damage. My dear sister, your heart is not a place where people can come, leave their damage and walk away as if nothing happened. Your heart is an amana from Allah. It is something precious, something fragile, something that must be protected with wisdom. So when you allow the wrong people to keep breaking it, using it, confusing it, and draining it, you are not only hurting yourself, you are neglecting what Allah trusted you to guard. Some people will enter your life with heavy emotions, selfish needs, careless words, and wounded behavior. They will pour their anger into you, their frustration into you, their disrespect into you, and because you are soft-hearted, you keep absorbing it. You tell yourself, maybe they are going through something. You tell yourself, maybe if I stay patient they will change. But patience does not mean becoming a home for someone else's cruelty. Islam teaches us mercy, but mercy must have wisdom. You can care about someone without letting them destroy your peace. You can forgive someone without giving them full access to your heart again. You can make dua for someone from a distance when their presence keeps damaging your soul. A wise woman understands this. Not every person who is hurting deserves permission to hurt you. Their pain may explain their behavior, but it does not excuse their damage. Your heart was created to remember Allah, to feel peace, to love what is pure, and to carry faith, not to become a storage place for people who refuse to heal themselves. So protect your heart, guard your peace. Stop letting people treat your emotions like they have no value. The heart that Allah gave you is too precious to be handed again and again to those who only know how to break it. 4. Know your worth before the wrong people make you forget it, my dear sister. One of the most dangerous things in life is not when people hurt you once. It is when they hurt you so many times that you start believing the pain is normal. You start accepting less. You start lowering your standards. You start thinking maybe respect is too much to ask for. Maybe love always feels heavy. Maybe being ignored, used, and emotionally drained is just part of being patient. But listen carefully. That is not patience. That is your worth being slowly buried under someone else's treatment. Wrong people do not always destroy you suddenly. Sometimes they destroy you quietly. They make you question yourself. They make you feel guilty for having needs. They make you feel dramatic for being hurt. They make you feel selfish for wanting peace. And slowly, the woman who once knew her value begins to apologize for asking to be treated with basic kindness. This is why you must know your worth before the wrong people rewrite your mind. Because if you do not know who you are in the sight of Allah, people will try to define you by how useful you are to them. They will love you when you are giving. They will praise you when you are silent. They will call you good when you tolerate everything. But the moment you set a boundary, they will say you changed. Yes, you changed. You stopped confusing abuse with love. You stopped mistaking guilt for duty. You stopped thinking that losing yourself is the price of keeping people. You realized that Allah did not create you to live in emotional fear, always wondering who will leave, who will be angry, who will misunderstand, who will punish you with silence. My dear sister, your worth is not measured by how much pain you can carry. Your worth is not proven by how many people you can please while your own heart is breaking. A good woman is not the woman who lets everyone use her. A good woman is the one who obeys Allah, protects her dignity, and gives her heart only where it is respected. There are people who will only understand your value after they lose access to you. They ignored your tears when you stayed. They dismissed your pain when you explained. They took your sacrifices as normal, because you kept showing up even when you were empty. But the day you choose peace, suddenly they realize your presence was a blessing. Do not wait for that day to know your worth. Know it now. Know it while you are still healing. Know it while you are still learning to say no. Know it while your heart still shakes when you step back from people you once loved deeply. Because knowing your worth does not mean you stop caring. It means you stop abandoning yourself to keep people comfortable. Sometimes the wrong people make you forget your worth by making you feel hard to love. But the truth is, you were never hard to love. You were just giving your heart to people who did not know how to love with fear of Allah. Real love does not make you beg for mercy. Real respect does not make you feel small. Real care does not punish you every time you speak your pain. So return to Allah and remember who you are. You are not someone's emotional dustbin. You are not someone's backup plan. You are not someone's endless second chance. You are a soul created by Allah, honored by Allah, and answerable to Allah. And when a woman remembers that, she stops living like her value depends on people who cannot even protect her heart. 5. Stop bleeding for people who never notice your wounds. My dear sister, one of the saddest things is when a woman keeps bleeding silently for people who never even look at her wound. She keeps hurting, but they keep taking. She keeps crying, but they keep expecting. She keeps breaking, but they keep acting like her pain is not real, because she still manages to smile, still answers the phone, still helps, still forgives, still shows up. But listen carefully. Just because you can carry pain quietly does not mean the pain is light. Just because you do not complain every day does not mean your heart is not tired. Some wounds are not visible on the face. Some wounds are hidden behind patience, behind manners, behind silence, behind the words, "I am okay," when deep inside, you are not okay at all. And many people will never notice your wounds because they are too busy enjoying your sacrifice. They notice when you stop giving, but they do not notice what it cost you to keep giving. They notice when you become quiet, but they never noticed how many times they made your heart heavy. They notice when you finally step back, but they never noticed how long you stood there, waiting to be valued. My dear sister, stop bleeding for people who only respect your pain when it becomes your absence. There are people who will watch you lose sleep for them, and still call you selfish when you need rest. They will watch you give your time, your energy, your emotions, your softness, your loyalty, and still make you feel guilty for having limits. They will benefit from your kindness and then accuse you of changing when you finally protect yourself. But maybe you did not change in a bad way. Maybe you finally woke up. Maybe Allah allowed your heart to become tired of being used because He wanted to bring you back to your dignity. Maybe the exhaustion you feel is not a punishment. Maybe it is a sign that you have been pouring yourself into places Allah never asked you to pour. Not every pain is sabr. Sometimes pain is a warning. Sometimes your tired heart is telling you, this place is draining me. Sometimes your tears are telling you, I have stayed too long where my soul is not safe. Sometimes the heaviness in your chest is not weakness. It is your heart begging you to stop betraying yourself for people who do not even fear hurting you. Islam teaches us to be kind, but Islam does not teach us to become emotionally destroyed. Islam teaches us to forgive, but forgiveness does not mean giving people unlimited permission to wound you again. Islam teaches us mercy, but mercy without wisdom can become a door through which careless people keep entering your life and leaving damage behind. My dear sister, your softness is not the problem. Your loyalty is not the problem. Your beautiful heart is not the problem. The problem is when you keep placing those gifts in the hands of people who do not know how to honor them. A precious thing loses peace when it is left in careless hands, and your heart is more precious than anything people keep taking from you. You must understand this before it is too late. Some people do not need you. They need your availability. They do not love your heart. They love what your heart does for them. They do not respect your sacrifice. They depend on it. And when you finally say, I cannot do this anymore, they do not ask, what happened to you? They ask, why are you doing this to me? That is when you see the truth, because the people who truly love you will care about your wound, not only your usefulness. They will ask about your peace, not only your presence. They will protect your heart, not keep testing how much pain it can survive. So stop thinking that being good means allowing everyone to drain you. A good woman is not the woman who lets people break her again and again. A good woman is the one who has a heart full of mercy, but also a soul full of dignity. She helps where she can, but she does not destroy herself to keep people comfortable. She forgives, but she learns. She loves, but she does not abandon herself. She gives, but she remembers that her heart also has rights. And my dear sister, sometimes the hardest part is accepting that the people you suffered for may never admit what they did to you. They may never say, I hurt you. They may never say, you deserved better. They may never say, thank you for everything you carried. They may move on as if your pain was nothing. But Allah saw it. Allah saw the tears you wiped before anyone entered the room. Allah saw the nights you could not sleep because your heart was too heavy. Allah saw the times you defended people who were not protecting you. Allah saw every moment you chose silence because you did not want to create conflict. Allah saw the kindness they took for granted. And when Allah sees your wound, you do not need the whole world to notice it. But you must stop handing that wound back to the same people and expecting them to heal it. Some people are not healers in your life. They are lessons. Some people are not meant to stay close. They are meant to teach you where your boundaries should have been. Some people are not your test because you must keep accepting them. They are your test because you must finally choose Allah, dignity, and peace over emotional attachment. My dear sister, do not let guilt pull you back into places where Allah already showed you the damage. Do not let loneliness make you return to people who only make you feel more alone. Do not let memories blind you from patterns. A few good moments do not erase constant disrespect. A few kind words do not erase repeated wounds. A few apologies mean nothing if the behavior keeps cutting you in the same place. Stop bleeding for people who never notice your wounds. Let them be upset if your healing makes you unavailable. Let them misunderstand if your peace requires distance. Let them call you changed if your change means you no longer allow your heart to be treated carelessly. Because the woman who returns to Allah does not need to explain every boundary. Her peace becomes her answer. Her silence becomes her protection. Her dignity becomes her shield. And one day, you will thank Allah for the moment you stopped begging people to notice your pain and started asking Allah to heal it. You will thank Allah for the distance that saved your heart. You will thank Allah for the strength to stop giving your blood to people who only wanted your service. So from today, protect your wounds, heal quietly, make dua deeply, step back wisely. And remember, your heart is not weak because it got hurt. Your heart is precious because even after being hurt, it still wants to be good. But now, be good with wisdom, be kind with boundaries, be soft with self-respect, and never again bleed endlessly for people who only realize your value when you are gone. 6. Allah did not create you to be used by everyone. My dear sister, listen carefully. Allah did not create you to become a place where everyone comes to take and take until nothing is left inside you. Allah did not give you a soft heart so people could use it as an easy door. Allah did not give you kindness so others could turn it into weakness. Allah did not give you patience so careless people could keep hurting you and then hide behind your silence. You were created to worship Allah, to live with dignity, to carry faith, to protect your heart, to serve with sincerity, and to walk this life as someone honored by her Creator. You were not created to be everyone's emotional servant. You were not created to fix every broken person who refuses to fix themselves. You were not created to keep smiling while your own soul is being drained. There is a difference between helping people and allowing people to consume you. Helping is done with love, balance, and the intention to please Allah. Being used feels heavy, confusing, and painful. When you help someone, your heart may feel tired, but it still feels peaceful. But when someone is using you, your heart feels smaller every time you give. You feel guilty when you rest. You feel afraid when you say no. You feel responsible for emotions that were never yours to carry. And many women do not realize they are being used because the people using them do not always look cruel. Sometimes they are family. Sometimes they are friends. Sometimes they are people who say they love you. Sometimes they are people who speak sweetly when they need you, but become cold when you need them. They know your heart is soft, so they keep returning to it, not because they honor it, but because they know it will open again. My dear sister, this is where you must wake up. A good heart without boundaries becomes a place where people drop their burdens and leave. A forgiving heart without wisdom becomes a place where people repeat the same wound. A woman who never says no may be praised by people, but inside, she may be losing herself piece by piece. Islam does not teach you to become a doormat. Islam teaches you humility, not humiliation. Islam teaches you mercy, not self-destruction. Islam teaches you patience, not silent suffering under people who have no fear of hurting you. Even your own soul has a right over you. Your body has a right over you. Your heart has a right over you. Your peace has a right over you. So stop thinking that choosing boundaries means you are becoming selfish. Sometimes boundaries are not selfishness. Sometimes boundaries are obedience to Allah because you are protecting the amana He gave you. If Allah gave you a heart, you are responsible for guarding it. If Allah gave you energy, you are responsible for using it wisely. If Allah gave you time, you are responsible for not wasting it in places where your soul keeps being damaged. Some people will only love you when you are useful. They will love the version of you that says yes. They will love the version of you that forgives quickly. They will love the version of you that never complains. They will love the version of you that forgets her own pain to protect their comfort. But the moment you become honest, the moment you say, "This hurts me," the moment you say, "I cannot keep doing this," suddenly they call you changed. Yes, you changed. You stopped letting your kindness become a chain around your neck. My dear sister, never confuse being needed with being loved. Sometimes people need you because you make their life easier, not because they value your soul. They need your time. They need your attention. They need your emotional support. They need your forgiveness. They need your ability to keep quiet. But when your heart is crying, where are they? When your mind is exhausted, who asks about you? When your soul feels heavy, who holds space for your pain? If you are always available for people who are never available for you, that is not love. That is imbalance. And imbalance, if ignored for too long, turns into resentment, sadness, and silent heartbreak. Allah did not create you to be used by everyone. He created you with honor. And honor means you must stop handing your whole self to people who only give you crumbs of care. Honor means you do not let people keep entering your life only when they are hungry for your energy. Honor means You stop confusing guilt with responsibility. Honor means you understand that you can be kind and still say no. You can say, I care about you, but I cannot carry this anymore. You can say, I forgive you, but I cannot give you the same access again. You can say, may Allah guide you, but I need distance for my peace. This is not hatred. This is maturity. This is a woman learning that her heart belongs first to Allah, not to people's endless demands. Some people will make you feel bad for protecting yourself because they benefited from the version of you that had no protection. They liked you better when you were easier to control. They liked you better when you apologized for things you did not do. They liked you better when you stayed silent just to avoid conflict. They liked you better when your fear of losing them was stronger than your fear of losing yourself. But when Allah begins to awaken a woman, she stops living like her worth depends on being useful to everyone. She stops saying yes while her heart is screaming no. She stops giving people full access to her emotions when they have shown no responsibility with her heart. She stops believing that love must always cost her peace. My dear sister, you must understand this deeply. The wrong people will keep taking as long as you keep giving without limits. They may never stop on their own. They may never wake up one day and say, she has done enough. Some people will keep asking until you collapse. And when you collapse, they will ask why you are no longer strong. That is why you must learn to protect yourself before your heart reaches the point where it no longer has the strength to care. Do not wait until you are empty to create boundaries. Do not wait until your tears become normal. Do not wait until your chest feels heavy every time their name appears. Do not wait until you become bitter. Protect the softness of your heart before pain changes it into something cold. Because a soft heart is a blessing, but a soft heart needs wisdom around it. Just like a beautiful garden needs a fence, your heart needs limits. Not to keep everyone out, but to stop the wrong people from walking in and destroying what Allah placed inside you. And remember this, saying no to people is sometimes saying yes to your healing. Saying no to emotional pressure is saying yes to your peace. Saying no to being used is saying yes to the dignity Allah gave you. You are not rejecting goodness, you are rejecting damage. You are not abandoning people. You are abandoning the habit of abandoning yourself. Maybe you have spent years being the strong one, the one who listens, the one who understands, the one who forgives, the one who holds everything together. But even the strong one gets tired. Even the patient one needs comfort. Even the kind one needs kindness. Even the woman who carries others needs someone to ask, are you okay? And if no one asks, then you must ask yourself. You must return to Allah and say, Ya Allah, teach me where to give, where to stop, where to stay, and where to walk away. Because not every request deserves your yes. Not every person deserves your energy. Not every relationship deserves your sacrifice. Not every emotional burden was written for you to carry. My dear sister, some people are tests, not assignments. Some people are lessons, not lifelong responsibilities. Some people enter your life to show you where you are too available, too afraid, too attached, too willing to lose yourself for approval. And when Allah shows you this, do not ignore it. Sometimes the pain you feel is not asking you to try harder. Sometimes it is asking you to wake up. Allah did not create you to be used by everyone. He created you to worship Him, not people. He created you to seek His approval, not everyone's happiness. He created you to live with haya, dignity, mercy, and strength. He created you to give from a full heart, not a broken one. He created you to love with wisdom, not blindness. He created you to forgive with faith, not to return to the same wound again and again. So today, stop letting people make you feel guilty for needing peace. Stop letting people shame you for having limits. Stop letting people treat your exhaustion like betrayal. You are allowed to rest. You are allowed to step back. You are allowed to protect your heart. You are allowed to stop giving access to people who only bring damage. The woman who knows Allah does not have to be harsh to be strong. Her strength is quiet. Her strength is in her dua. Her strength is in her boundaries. Her strength is in her ability to love without becoming a prisoner. Her strength is in knowing that when people are displeased because she chose peace, Allah still sees her intention, and that is enough. So be kind, but do not be careless with yourself. Be generous, but do not be available for every hand that reaches for you. Be forgiving, but do not forget the lesson. Be loving, but do not lose your dignity. Be soft, but let your softness be protected by wisdom, because you are not here to be used by everyone. You belong to Allah, and the one who belongs to Allah should never live like she belongs to people's demands. 7. Choose your peace before their approval destroys you. My dear sister, one of the hardest prisons to escape is the prison of wanting everyone to approve of you. It does not look like a prison at first. It looks like being nice. It looks like keeping everyone happy. It looks like avoiding conflict. It looks like saying yes when your heart is tired, smiling when your soul is heavy, and staying silent when something inside you is begging to speak. But slowly, if you are not careful, the desire to be accepted by people can make you abandon the peace Allah placed inside you. You begin to live by people's reactions. If they are pleased, you feel safe. If they are quiet, you panic. If they misunderstand you, you lose sleep. If they are upset, you rush to fix everything, even when you did nothing wrong. And without realizing it, your whole life becomes controlled by other people's moods. You stop asking, "Is Allah pleased with me?" And you start asking, "Are they pleased with me?" That is where the heart becomes tired. My dear sister, people's approval is unstable. Today they praise you. Tomorrow they question you. Today they say you are kind. Tomorrow they say you changed. Today they need you. Tomorrow they forget you. If your peace depends on their opinion, then your peace will never stay in one place. It will keep moving with their emotions, their anger, their silence, their expectations, and their judgment. This is why you must choose your peace before their approval destroys you. Because some people do not want your goodness. They want your obedience to their comfort. They are happy with you as long as you never disagree. They love your softness as long as it benefits them. They praise your patience as long as it keeps you quiet. But the moment you protect yourself, suddenly they call you selfish. The moment you step back, they say you became cold. The moment you stop explaining your pain, they say you are arrogant. But maybe you are not arrogant. Maybe you are finally peaceful. Maybe you are finally tired of betraying your own heart just to keep people calm. Maybe Allah is teaching you that not every disappointed person is proof that you did something wrong. Sometimes people are disappointed because they lost access to a version of you they could easily use. My dear sister, do not let people make you feel guilty for choosing peace. Peace is not a small thing. Peace is a blessing. Peace is a protection. Peace is something your heart needs to worship Allah with focus. When your heart is always disturbed by people, your salah becomes distracted, your dua becomes heavy, your sleep becomes broken, and your mind becomes full of conversations that never end. You replay what they said, what they meant, what they think, what they might say next. And slowly, people begin living in your mind without paying any rent. That is not how your heart was meant to live. Your heart was created to remember Allah, not to be tortured by everyone's opinion. Your heart was created to find rest in truth, not to chase every person's approval. Your heart was created to love with sincerity, not to fear rejection from people who do not even understand your pain. There will be moments when choosing peace will make people misunderstand you. Let them. There will be moments when choosing peace will make people say you changed. Let them. There will be moments when choosing peace will make people angry because they can no longer control you with guilt. Let them. Your job is not to manage every opinion. Your job is to guard your soul in a way that pleases Allah. And this does not mean you become careless with people. It does not mean you become harsh, rude, or proud. No, my dear sister. A believing woman remains gentle. She remains respectful. She speaks with adab. She keeps her heart clean. But she also understands that being kind does not mean being controlled. Being respectful does not mean being available for emotional damage. Being humble does not mean letting people erase your boundaries. Some women lose years of their life trying to be approved by people who were never going to be satisfied. No matter how much they give, it is not enough. No matter how much they explain, it is misunderstood. No matter how much they sacrifice, it becomes expected. They bend, adjust, apologize, tolerate, and stay quiet, hoping one day people will finally say, "We see your heart." But some people will never see your heart because they are too focused on what they can take from it. So stop waiting for everyone to understand you before you choose peace. Some people will only understand your value after you are no longer available. Some people will only respect your boundaries after they lose the privilege of crossing them. Some people will only notice your silence after they ignored your pain for too long. But by then, you must already be healing. My dear sister, approval can become an addiction. You want one message, one apology, one kind word, one sign that they still like you. And when it comes, you feel calm for a little while. But then they become cold again, distant again, demanding again, and your heart falls back into the same fear. That is not peace. That is emotional dependence. That is your heart being pulled by people instead of being anchored with Allah. When your peace is with Allah, people can dislike you, and you will still remain steady. They can misunderstand you, and you will still make dua. They can leave, and you will still survive. They can speak against you, and you will still know that Allah knows the truth. That is strength, not loud strength, not angry strength, quiet strength. The strength of a woman who has stopped giving people the power to destroy her from inside. Choose your peace before their approval destroys you, because some approval comes at the price of your dignity. To keep some people happy, you must keep swallowing disrespect. To keep some people close, you must keep ignoring your wounds. To keep some people pleased, you must keep pretending their behavior does not hurt. And if the price of being liked is losing yourself, then that approval is too expensive. You must ask yourself honestly, what am I sacrificing just to avoid disappointing them? Am I sacrificing my sleep, my mental peace, my relationship with Allah, my self-respect, my ability to smile honestly, my ability to breathe without heaviness in my chest? If keeping people pleased is slowly making you spiritually, emotionally, and mentally exhausted, then you are not maintaining love, you are maintaining a prison. My dear sister, Allah did not create you to be trapped inside people's expectations. You can love people without living for their approval. You can honor people without obeying every emotional demand. You can be good to people without letting their mood decide your worth. This is maturity. This is wisdom. This is the quiet freedom of a heart that has returned to its creator. Sometimes choosing peace means you stop explaining yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. You have explained once, twice, many times, but they still twist your words. They still make you feel guilty. They still turn your pain into an argument. At some point, silence becomes protection. Not because you have nothing to say, but because you finally understand that some hearts are not listening to understand. They are listening to defend their control over you. Sometimes choosing peace means you stop chasing people who only respond when they feel you slipping away. They ignore your messages, but when you become quiet, suddenly they appear. They do not value your presence, but they fear losing your attention. They do not care about your heart, but they care about keeping access to you. My dear sister, that is not love. That is control, dressed in emotional confusion. Sometimes choosing peace means you let people think what they want. This is difficult for a soft-hearted woman because she wants to be understood. She wants people to know her intention was pure. She wants them to know she did not mean harm. But my dear sister, if you spend your whole life trying to correct every false opinion, you will lose the energy needed to build a sincere life with Allah. Let Allah defend what people cannot see. Let your character speak over time. Let your peace become stronger than your need to be explained. There is a special kind of freedom when a woman stops begging to be seen correctly by everyone. She becomes calm. She stops performing. She stops over-apologizing. She stops giving long explanations to people who only want to keep her small. She learns to say, Allah knows my heart, and that is enough for me. And when that sentence becomes real inside her, people lose their power over her emotions. My dear sister, do not confuse peace with loneliness. At first, when you stop chasing approval, you may feel alone. Because you are no longer running after people. You are no longer begging them to accept you. You are no longer shaping yourself to fit their comfort. That silence may feel strange, but sometimes that silence is not emptiness. Sometimes it is Allah clearing the noise so you can finally hear your own soul again. You may lose some people when you choose peace. But ask yourself, were they really with you, or were they only attached to what you provided? Were they loving you, Or were they benefiting from your fear of disappointing them? Were they protecting your heart, or only enjoying your softness? The right people will not require you to destroy yourself to keep them. The right people will not punish you for needing boundaries. The right people will not make your peace feel like betrayal. A person who truly cares about you will not want your heart to be exhausted just so they can feel powerful. They will not demand your yes when they can see you are drained. They will not make you feel guilty for needing space. They will not turn your healing into an insult against them. They will understand that you are human. They will understand that even the strongest woman has limits. And if they do not understand, choose peace anyway. Because on the day you stand before Allah, you will not be asked whether everyone approved of you. You will not be asked whether every person was pleased with your boundaries. You will not be asked whether you kept every emotionally demanding person happy. You will answer for your heart, your choices, your intentions, your time, your soul, and the amana Allah gave you. So live for Allah's approval before people's approval. This does not make you careless. It makes you free. When Allah's pleasure becomes your goal, you stop becoming a prisoner of people's reactions. You can apologize when you are wrong without begging to be accepted. You can forgive without returning to harm. You can love without losing yourself. You can walk away without hatred. You can be misunderstood without collapsing. That is peace. My dear sister, protect that peace. Protect it from unnecessary arguments. Protect it from people who only contact you when they need something. Protect it from those who make you feel guilty for resting. Protect it from those who use your kindness as permission to cross every line. Protect it from relationships where you are always giving, always explaining, always waiting, always hurting. Your peace is not weakness. Your peace is not pride. Your peace is not selfishness. Your peace is a place where your heart can breathe, where your faith can grow, where your mind can settle, where your worship can become sincere again. And anything that repeatedly pulls you away from Allah, repeatedly breaks your dignity, repeatedly makes you hate yourself, repeatedly turns your heart heavy, must be looked at with wisdom. Do not keep choosing approval and calling it love. Do not keep choosing fear and calling it patience. Do not keep choosing emotional exhaustion and calling it sacrifice. Sometimes the most spiritual thing you can do is step back from what keeps damaging the heart Allah gave you. Sometimes the most mature thing you can do is stop arguing with people who benefit from your confusion. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is choose peace without needing everyone to clap for it. My dear sister, a woman who chooses peace becomes difficult to control, not because she is hard-hearted, but because she is no longer hungry for approval. You cannot control a woman who has placed her worth with Allah. You cannot threaten her with silence when she has learned to sit with Allah in silence. You cannot break her with rejection when she knows Allah never abandons her. You cannot manipulate her with guilt when she has learned the difference between responsibility and emotional slavery. This is the woman you are becoming. A woman who still loves, but no longer begs. A woman who still forgives, but no longer forgets the lesson. A woman who still cares, but no longer carries what was never hers. A woman who still respects people, but no longer worships their opinion. A woman whose peace is no longer for sale. So choose your peace before their approval destroys you. Choose your salah before their drama. Choose your healing before their comfort. Choose your dignity before their control. Choose Allah before the people who only remember you when they need you. And remember this, when you stop living for people's approval, some will call you changed. Let them call it change. In the sight of Allah, it may be growth, it may be healing, it may be the moment you finally stopped destroying yourself for others and began protecting the soul Allah trusted you with. My dear sister, if this message reached your heart, then maybe it was not an accident. Maybe Allah allowed you to hear this because He knows how long you have been carrying pain quietly. He knows how many times you smiled while your heart was tired. He knows how many people you protected, even when they were not protecting you. But today, let this be the moment you stop destroying yourself for people who never asked if you were okay. You can be kind without becoming empty. You can forgive without returning to the same wound. You can love people without letting them control your peace. And you can walk away from what breaks you without becoming a bad person. Remember this deeply. Your worth was never in their approval. Your worth was given by Allah before people ever had an opinion about you. So protect your heart, guard your peace, choose your dignity, return to Allah with everything that hurts. And from today, stop asking people to see your value. Start living like you finally know it. May Allah heal every heart that gave too much, cried too quietly, and stayed too long in places that broke them. May Allah replace your pain with peace, your confusion with clarity, and your weakness with beautiful strength. Ameen.